Clickbait is dead. Autopsy. YouTube views are worse than we thought by Gothic Therapy. Essentially, if you haven't received the notice yet, if you haven't received the memo yet, basically, YouTube nuked its platform. Basically, views only count when they're engaged, and apparently some things are wrong, some things are right, some things are even worse. So that's what we're gonna look at. That's what we're gonna look at. We watched the video on this already, though. This is an update. This is a new version. This is an update. This is an update on this. This is a new version. There is new information. So we're going to take a look at this. This is new information. Anyways, let's jump into this. Let's see. Well, my does. If you can provide me a video as usual, that would be easy then. I still have a bug video though.
YouTube's counting views with a new set of rules.
Casual clicks vanish. Only engagement fuels.
The autopsy's here. There's room to debate.
We own our data. We won't hesitate.
Let's see what Gothic Therapy has new information on. I wonder how bad it is or how bad it got. If it's apparently worse, that's not good. Well, again, I noticed this because I saw my saw the job. I saw the job. I saw it. I saw when my numbers went down. I noticed that immediately.
We released a video that we thought explained why a lot of creators are noticing a major drop in their views.
Well, first off, I think it's the most important thing to say is we got some pushback, including from some people. I believe one of them was a 2 million subscriber channel. So let's explain what the theory was. Our theory was that the reason people are noticing view drops across the board, which is not something specific, people were saying, oh, it's just because you guys make slop content and nobody wants it.
Okay, here we have essentially a little thingy here. Okay, maybe I should move out a little and read out what we have. How your video is judged now. View starts played. Wait, that's a bit dumb. A view counts the moment playback begins, even if they leave immediately. Okay. Watched past X seconds. Viewer sticks around long enough to register. Okay. Engaged view. Interact watches to threshold. Only these drive recommendations and monetization. Algorithm filters here. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so that's how it is. Then, before March 2025, that was when the Shorts update dropped. That was what happened. Views that played long enough where what was counted. Okay. Going forward, views will count the number of times your short starts to play or replay with no minimum watch time required. That was what they said. So that was only for the shorts. They didn't tell you that for anything else. We'll keep the existing shorts view metric, which will now be called engaged views, so you can see how many viewers chose to continue watching. Okay. Now, I have to move out here. I will read it out first. After March 2025, views do not equal engaged views. This is a regular view, but watch time plus like is an engaged view, basically. Only engaged views count for monetization, algorithm, and visibility. That is worse. That is worse. That is so much worse. Holy fuck. You know what that means? You could passively watch a video, not interact with it, and I, basically, and everyone else gets no money. If that's what that means. That's even worse than... Whew! That is straight up worse! Wow. Views when a video starts or replays with no minimum watch time requirement, right? According to YouTube. Engaged views when a viewer continues watching past an unspecific certain watch time. Okay. So far, so good. Why? What the hell? Why make this complicated? Just let it be. It's good enough right now. then they don't have to give away money. It's all about money. Wow, this is actually worse. This is so much worse.
Okay, but that doesn't explain what's going on here, because it was something that everybody noticed, and we discovered through data that we believe what ended up happening was that YouTube no longer counts regular views. You now need to have watched past a certain amount of time and interacted with the video, or what was called an engaged view. However, I want to clarify.
Again, this was Shadow Drop. Nobody knew of this. Hello, what topic y'all talk right now? Hi, Zach. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. YouTube changed how views work, basically, is what we're looking at. Oh my goodness. This is so much worse. If that's actually true, they're essentially... Do you still have the Spyro video, Father? Yes, I do. This is so much worse. That basically means that they're essentially stealing from you if you're a content creator. These fuckers are stealing from you. Because, for example, a lot of people just watch passively, right? They see the ad, but nobody engages. So, that means essentially they are getting the money from the advertisers and you get nothing. What?
We were wrong. Yeah, we're not going to sugarcoat it. We were wrong about what engaged views and regular views were. However, we are not wrong.
Oh, wait. Or could it be engaged views? If this says only engaged views count for monetization, algorithm, and visibility, when the viewer continues watching past a specific certain watch time. So does that mean that you don't have to like? I don't know. Is liking already engaged and subscribing, and then you can leave, or is it Because sometimes sometimes I get likes, right? And I wait a little bit and then they're just vanished, gone. Start with YouTube's new policy again. Yep.
About the results, and we will get to that, and I'll explain it all. When there was an update that came out not that long ago, before around March of 2025, how things worked were views and engaged views on videos were the same, meaning that they were very similar. We believed that, they're only now the same thing, and that was where we went wrong, was that because it seemed based on the data that we were correct, and if the data was correct, we would have been correct, but we weren't. What ended up happening is people were saying, and you're seeing these two numbers that are the same is because views and engaged views are the same.
It is true to an extent, and it is not true to an extent.
YouTube creators put out a video explaining this difference between shorts, and there's a couple quotes that you can see.
Going forward, views will count the number of times your short starts to play or replay with no minimum watch time requirement. We'll keep the existing shorts view metric, which will now be called engaged views, so you can see how many viewers choose to continue watching. So,
what does this mean? It means that yes, views and engaged views were the same thing. So we were wrong. They were always the same thing. However, the reason we're noticing is they're not anymore. When it comes to shorts, they are now two separate metrics. What does it mean?
Okay. So basically, they were the same thing before. Okay. That's what they got wrong. But they're not anymore for shorts. So how does this affect regular videos? Huh.
Well, honey, do you want to read views and engaged views right next to that?
Views. When a video starts or replays with no minimum watch time requirement, according to YouTube, versus engaged views, when a viewer continues watching past an unspecified certain watch time.
The metrics have been separated. We were saying they were the same. So what gives? What are we saying now? Well, now views and engaged views are no longer the same thing. However, our theory is this. We were technically right when we said regular views and engaged views are the same thing, except they are now all engaged views, meaning that engaged views has overwritten the regular view count. Now, we can't say this for certain because we don't have that data. We had a lot of data showing, hey, views and engaged views are the same.
Oh, okay. It's basically now everything. Okay. Let me rehear that.
Say this for certain because we don't have that views are the same thing, except they are now all engaged views, meaning that engaged views has overwritten the regular view count. Now, we can't say this for certain because
okay, engaged views has overwritten everything. So now that still means passive viewing still doesn't count. YouTube used to have less ads, but now I'm so mad with these ads each 10 to 20 minutes, even when someone live on YouTube. I mean, to an extent, unlike Twitch, you at least have control over it, right? Like as a VTuber, I have control over how many ads are playing. Usually I just let YouTube do it. That's fine. And that works. For streams, I only have them on when you come in. And then once every hour or so. That's fine. Except for reaction streams where I just have them when you come in. They basically did it so they don't have to give more money. That's the vibe I'm getting from this. Basically, because my numbers have crashed, so it makes sense.
Because we don't have that data. We had a lot of data showing, hey, views and engaged views are the same thing, and etc., etc. And we were wrong with that. It seemed right based on the data, but we were wrong. However, the conclusion is still engagement is key now to your videos gaining any traction. But wait, ask, well, if the data was wrong, then how can you prove this?
I would say that maybe the fact that literally everyone except for a few people in our comments were agreeing with us, and also channels that have nothing to do with pop culture were also noticing a dip in their view counts, significant dips in their view counts, and also said, hey, this might actually said on our video, hey, this might actually explain why my views have been down lately.
True. I had from like January to March, April, I had like 90k views a month, almost 100. And then, like towards the end of March, it took a nosedive. I'm getting up again, but it took a huge nosedive. Have you seen the new Mega Evolution Pokemon? Yes, I have seen Mega Dragonite. I think the wings are a bit wrong, and I think maybe they should have increased the size of his normal wings. Not gonna lie, it looks a bit odd. How long ago was this implemented? In March this year. That's when my views went to 5k all of a sudden from 1k. Yeah. Basically.
Everybody has noticed it. Things start to go down. You tend to reflect and go, hey, did I do something wrong? Am I out of touch? The answer is no, you're not out of touch. What's ending up happening is point blank, whether engaged views or regular views are the same thing or not, because to be fair, we're saying that they're separate now, and that is true for shorts. We don't know if that's the case for regular videos. What we do know...
Okay, it's true for shorts, so not regular videos. Shorts. That explains the dip, yeah. It does explain.
Is that based on all the things that we are seeing and based on all the people in the comments who were telling us that they were noticing the same thing, we can come to a pretty definitive claim based on consensus in regards to this. So our data may have been flawed, but the consensus and the result is still true. Basically, what's ending up happening now, let's explain how the videos are judged now.
Views. Start played. A view counts the moment playback begins, even if they leave immediately. Watched past X seconds. Viewer sticks around long enough to register. Engaged view. Interacts/watches to threshold. Only these drive recommendations and monetization. Algorithm filters here.
We are correct. Engagement is the only thing that's driving videos now. If somebody clicks and doesn't engage with your video, it doesn't count. Now, people might say, well, wait a minute, that how are you getting your video has a certain amount of likes, a certain amount of, comments, but it's got more views. How does that work? Well, it's not just engagement. It is also watching past a certain amount of time, which we did mention.
Oh, okay. That explains. Okay, that explains a bit. Sure, yeah, that explains it. Okay, so liking is not a requirement, but watching also. Now the question is, though, what is the threshold? What is the minimum threshold? Does it depend on the video? Is it like proportionate to like the length of the video? Like what does that how does that work? How does this work? Interesting.
In the video, but we could have clarified better, and that's what we're doing here.
What we're doing here is we are following up our initial findings. And yes, we did make some mistakes. We will own that we made mistakes. We could have done more research. We could have looked into the data better, and we could have phrased things better. But you know what? We're not afraid to own up to those mistakes.
The conclusion still holds. We're going to say that if you watch a video, if you click on a video and you watch it, and you don't watch it for the amount of time that you need to, and you don't like or comment or whatever, that doesn't count anymore. There's been a drop in views across the board for all kinds of creators.
Now, what is it? Again, the question is, how much must it be proportionate to the video? Like, if a video is like 10 minutes long, you have to watch 4 minutes of it, or how does this work? This actually creates more questions now. So it also depends on how long you watch that video. Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's what it depends on.
Not just people who cover pop culture, it's hitting everyone. YouTube has changed things and is not telling anybody. That is a thing also. And the majority of people are noticing that engagement now holds more sway over what you're doing now. Long story short, there is something wrong with YouTube. Engagement is king. If you do not engage with the video, and that means like it, comment, subscribe, or watch past a certain amount of time, then your view no longer counts. If that is the case, you will not see.
Okay, that means here's our objective. If you don't watch a certain time, your view doesn't count. If you don't like, if you don't sub, if you don't... I would probably assume that shares do count as well as engaged. Yeah. This is confusing me. My 3 brain cells cannot process this anymore. Yeah, it is. Algorithms are interesting. I don't even hate the system particularly. I just hate that they didn't tell you this. Like, they didn't tell you this when the update dropped in March. They didn't tell you this. They literally just told you for the shorts, and that's it. They didn't tell you anything else and how it works and stuff. They didn't elaborate on anything.
The same viewership because some people just passively watch videos, and for all we know, you could watch most of the video and stop before the end, and that may not count. We don't know. The thing that we should be asking is, hey, if all these creators are noticing this, when is it time for YouTube to give us what we want? Answers.
I would say yesterday, but we all know YouTube isn't going to because it's YouTube.
Yeah, that's pretty much the end of this video. What we now know, what has been corrected, what is the most important aspect, but it's not liking, subbing, sharing, disliking, whatever, right? Only. It's also watch time. So essentially, we are technically still in the dark because we don't know the amount of watch time that is needed for a video to count. Like, I can end here now at 7 minutes 23, and the threshold would be 7 minutes 30, right? And you would not know, and that video would not be counted. And they have not elaborated, like, not they, but not the creators of this video, but YouTube has not elaborated what the threshold is. Like, what is the max amount of time you do need? Like, if you have a 20-second short, is it 10 seconds? If you have a 2-minute short, is it still 10 seconds? Like, what is the percentage that you need to watch that this counts? Well, we don't know. We'll probably receive more updates. They're probably going to look into more stuff. I would assume. But yeah. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. Because now you kind of need to.